My name's Mollie Sommerville. I'm a Bradfordian. I was born and brought up in Bradford, and I've lived here nearly all my life. I spent 4 years at university in Dublin and 2 years in Ethiopia. And the clock's chiming. Does that matter? No. Let's keep going. Global Justice Now was set up originally to kind of form political awareness, particularly with MPs in the UK, about things that were happening in what we now call the Global South. And since, I suppose, the last 10, 15 years, it's concentrated a lot on climate change. It's writing to MPs, well, particularly our own MP, trying to form a relationship with them about all these different issues, going to see them, talking to them, writing letters, signing petitions, that kind of thing. We also try to raise awareness with the public, so we show films about every 3 months, and we get an audience of maybe between 40 and 70 people coming to see the films. The most ongoing thing that Global Justice Now has organised is, for the last 4 years, we've tried to persuade West Yorkshire Pension Fund to divest from fossil fuels. So they have a lot of money to invest, you can imagine, because people's pensions are, people pay in week by week for their pension, and so they have millions of pounds to invest. And of those millions of pounds, some of it goes into Shell and BP. Really, it's kind of getting people to realise the long term rather than the short term. And of course, both short, medium and long term, fossil fuels are really damaging the climate. The pension fund, for example, could easily invest in things like housing, alternative technologies for wind turbines, for solar, all that kind of thing, which are really on the up, and therefore make more money for their pensioners. So we've tried to persuade them by holding a vigil outside their offices, which happen to have their headquarters in Bradford, where we live, so it's just down the road, every Friday from 12 till 1. And reminding them that we're there as the workers go into the building, and writing letters and attending meetings. When they have their investment meetings, we also try and be a presence, so that we're standing outside when the people go in to make their decisions. And so there's been some movement. They have promised that they will not make any new investments in fossil fuels. That was about a year ago. And they commissioned a report which said, the report really said, you should be divesting from fossil fuels. But they said, well, yeah, but we're going to try, because we've got influence with these companies, we've got a lot of money invested in them, so we can try and make them change their policies and become greener, as if digging oil out of the ground could ever be green. So we're keeping going, and we have our 4th anniversary coming up. I do it because I think of all the things in the world, the climate breakdown is so huge. It could really just kill humanity. And it's something that people are just ignoring, or burying their heads in the sand, or maybe they're just too scared. But all the scientific predictions are that within the next 30, 40 years, the world as we know it now will be unlivable in. We need really to persuade ordinary people about that, but then ordinary people don't have power. So it's the people with power, it's the huge companies, it's the billionaires, and it's governments. And I've got grandchildren, and I can see that their lives are going to be much, much worse than ours have ever been, and that I'm responsible, we're all responsible for what the world is coming to, and so we must take action. I very much hope that all these actions that we're doing, plus all the little things in daily life, like having an allotment with a group of women that we have just up the road, it raises awareness to ordinary people, and it produces good food and laughter, which I think we need, and community. So all the community groups I've been involved in over the years, like a women's centre called Millens Centre. Again, this brings groups of women together. I also involved in Manning Project, which is a project that gives advice. So they're all different, but they all tie in together. So it's like I say, think global and act local.